Sup, Raider fans, football fans, NFL fans. Sam Gordon here, Las Vegas Review Journal, Vegas Nation, back with another edition of Vegas Nation Fan Zone. Today is May 25th, which means it is the first day of OTAs. Football is officially back. There is going to be football this week, and it's going to be the first of a series of OTAs that culminates in a mandatory minicamp. But it's time to finally see what this Raider team is going to look like, or see what the makings of this Raider team is going to look like. First time out there for Gus Bradley with his guys, having an opportunity to install his defense and build upon what he wants to do. First opportunity out there for the rookies. The first opportunity out there for a number of free agents who are specifically on that defensive side of the ball that the Raiders are expecting to make an impact this year. So definitely curious to see how that goes these next few days. Our crew hopefully is going to be out there to check in with everything and see how everything is going. But in the meantime, I'm here to answer any kind of questions that Raider fans may have going into OTAs about the offseason thus far, about the draft, about whatever we want to talk about. Last time I talked to y'all was before the draft. I was actually out in Cleveland getting ready to cover the NFL draft for the Review Journal. So that was almost a month ago now. Time certainly flies because we have football. Football is here. The Raiders making a couple moves in advance of OTAs. They officially inked Alex Leatherwood to his contract. The rookie offensive tackle expected to play right tackle for the Raiders this year out of Alabama, Outland Trophy Award winner, All-American, national champion. Going to get to see how he looks on that offensive line. Trevon Merrick, obviously the star safety that is going to be expected to be plugged in and played right at free safety right away. Perfect fit for Gus Bradley's defense, being able to play center field, take away that deep third, allow Jonathan Abram to come up closer to the line of scrimmage and do what he does as a tackler, making plays in the run game. So it's all gonna go down this week, or it's all gonna start. And from what we're hearing, there's a pretty good turnout. They're expecting a pretty good turnout, so that's big with everything that's going on right now. Also, some personnel news last week that I don't know if we necessarily saw coming, but David Irving getting waived, the team parting ways with him, the talented edge rusher that was really productive in Dallas, or was emerging as a very productive player with 7 sacks in 8 games in that 2018 season. He sits out 2019. The Raiders signed him in 2020. He plays a couple games and things weren't working out, so they choose to part ways. A lot of depth on that defensive line, so that is a way of creating competition, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities for guys to compete and showcase what they can do. So if a fit with David Irving wasn't there, then it wasn't there. I think the Raiders are still going to be fine. And we certainly hope that David Irving, gets whatever situation he's dealing with or whatever's going on, that everything works out, and if he wants to continue playing, can find a fit moving forward. But that's where we're at right now. So with that said, again, any type of questions, please send them my way. We actually have one question that came in via the Raider Vegas Nation email line from Mark, who wants to know if the Raiders have any chance at Aaron Rodgers. And I would say at this moment in time, probably a long shot, but you never know. You never know. Aaron Rodgers obviously going on Kenny Mayne's show, final episode of SportsCenter last night, speaking publicly about the situation, making it clear that his beef, whatever you want to call it, is with the organization. It's not with Matt LaFleur, not with his teammates, certainly not with Jordan Love, more so from an organizational standpoint. So we'll see how that gets resolved, but I imagine it would take a hefty trade package in order to acquire Aaron Rodgers. And if there is something there, if the Green Bay does decide to move on from him, which I'm not necessarily sure why they want to do unless it really got into a stalemate as we get closer to camp, I imagine it would take at least a couple first-round picks and a player. And that's no disrespect to Derek Carr, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's the reigning league MVP. When he is on your team, you are more often than not a contender in your respective conference. You're almost a cinch to win your division. He's been winning the NFC North titles up there since 2008, 2009. So he's been doing this for a really, really long time at a high level. And if you have the chance to upgrade, I think it's worth taking a look. And Raiders officials have spoken publicly about doing so, that they're always going to look to upgrade any position. So with that in mind, we'll see what happens. There's other teams, of course, rumored to be on his preferred trade list. Denver, I think it would stink, obviously, for the Raiders and every other team in the division, the Chiefs and Chargers too, if he wound up there. But that would take the quarterback play in this AFC West with Patrick Mahomes, with Derek Carr, who played at a Pro Bowl level last year and played like a top 10 quarterback, and then of course the reigning Rookie of the Year, Justin Herbert. Raiders for life. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like he's likely. Julio Jones don't look likely. We would have to clear some serious cap, extend Derek Carr. It's just too tough. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I mean, very, very sticky, cap situation, especially with Julio Jones, who's I think set to make 20 plus million. He signed that contract in 2019 that made him the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And as you guys know, down in Atlanta, it's not necessarily working out. So any team that trades for Julio Jones, I imagine there would be some kind of restructuring to restructure that deal, maybe lower the cap hit this year and lower what he's making this year, maybe convert some of that into signing bonus and then tack on a couple extra years with some guaranteed money. So definitely an interesting situation brewing down there in Atlanta. For all that's been said about Julio Jones and his quote-unquote nagging injuries, he did have a hamstring issue last year, forced him to miss 7 games. But when he played, he was still really, really productive, almost 86 yards per game, which if you prorate that over 16 games is right around 1,400 yards. And he was right around 1,400 yards the previous 6 years. So, again, I think it's worth kicking the tires on. But in terms of having a realistic trade come into fruition, that's a little different of a situation. So, if they did add him into the fold, though, or if they found a way to make that work to navigate that salary cap situation that Raiders for life so aptly, astutely pointed out, it sure will give them another dynamic playmaker on that offense. I know Julio Jones isn't what he once was, maybe in 2015, 2016, when he was at his apex and arguably the top wide receiver in all of football. But I think at 32, at 6'3", 220 pounds, with his route running, with his experience, and still with his physicality on the perimeter, that he still has a couple really productive years left. I think that guys, if they're in the right condition, can continue to produce at that receiver position into their mid-30s. We saw Antonio Brown, who came off of basically 2 years of no football, or a year of no football, come in and make an impact with Tampa Bay. You look at Travis Kelce, arguably the game's best pass catcher in the game today, who's going to be 32 this year, still highly, highly productive. So with that in mind, I think he still has some good years left. Raiders for life with another comment, plus we can't give up no first round pick for Julio Jones with the draft in 2022 being in Vegas. And I would definitely agree with that. I think a first round pick at this stage of his career is a little too much. I know that's probably what the Falcons are asking for because it is Julio Jones. He is an elite player even at this stage. I think, again, if he's healthy, you can pencil him in for 1,200 yards and between 90 and 100 catches, and he will give you a threat on that perimeter, a physical kind of ball skills receiver that I'm not sure if the Raiders have. I think Bryan Edwards has potential to develop into that, but he's not Julio Jones, and that's no disrespect. But a first-round pick does seem like a lot. It feels like, depending on what it looks like, though, how much leverage do the Falcons really have? Because they need to clear cap space. They need to move off that contract in order to finish signing their rookie class and getting that kind of business done. And if teams don't want to offer a first-round pick, you've got to clear that salary somehow. So I think a second and a fourth or would be something that you want to consider maybe, or a third this year and a third next year, something like that. But you're right. I think a first-round pick is an awful lot to give up. Again, this is the Vegas Nation Fan Zone. If you are tuned in and have any questions or comments, please feel free to chime in. Again, OTAs beginning this week. Our Vegas Nation crew is going to have you covered on all things OTAs. That is the plan. So we will see how that shakes out. A very, very crucial part of the team building experience that the Raiders did not have last year, and every other team in the NFL didn't have last year. And let's be clear, every single team in the league was affected by the coronavirus pandemic in that regard, right? There wasn't OTA, so every team's rookies didn't really get to gel, and every team's young players didn't get those reps, those early reps under their coaching staff to really, really delve into the system. But I think from the Raiders' perspective, they had a lot of rookies that were expected to contribute, and then a lot of second-year guys, the Trayvon Mullins of the world, Jonathan Abram, guys like that missed out on those reps too. So this is definitely a crucial part of the team building process. And we will see how that shakes out. Will you guys be allowed inside the practice facility? In terms of, it's unclear to me at this juncture. I haven't been inside the practice facility since November. I think that's when they cut access for us, just out of precaution because of the coronavirus pandemic, and understandably so. There were so many moving parts with the NFL and with what everything was going on with the virus and those things last fall, that they didn't want to mess around with that. But I think we're at this point, the point now in Vegas at least. I mean, it feels like we're starting to turn a corner in terms of what's opening up and what kind of things we're able to do. So we'll see what that's looking like this week. But I believe there's going to be some kind of access, or at least that's the hope, that we can get out there and kind of check out what's going on. Again, it's the first day. Tuesday the 25th. This is a three-day camp, and then there's a couple other ones before the mandatory mini camp, and then after that, training camp is right around the corner, right? It's right around the corner. July is when training camp starts, and then we're going to see how this thing really, really shakes out and what this team is looking like. again, you really like the moves that they made on the defensive side of the ball. I think there was a clear understanding that they needed to upgrade across that defensive line. They had veterans in that secondary to compete with the young guys and push the young guys. And then you're expecting another year of growth and development from those young players, the aforementioned young players on both sides of the ball, not only on that defensive front, not only in that secondary, but also on the offense as well, with Henry Ruggs coming back for year 2 after getting a year of NFL film and a year of NFL experience under his belt. Brian Edwards getting healthy. He showcased some of his potential at the end of the season, and you expect another step forward as well. Raiders for life, man. Appreciate you rocking with us. Also, if you guys can get allowed inside the follow-up, will you guys be able to get exclusive interviews, whether it be via Zoom? I mean, hopefully, I mean, that would be great. I think we definitely all love that, but we'll see what the access is looking like at this point. Again, I think things are just starting to turn a corner, and there's some semblance of normalcy coming back here in Vegas, and we certainly hope that that's the case with our jobs as well. So again, big OTA session coming up. So we're gonna find out what that's looking like and what the team is going to look like and how things are shaking out. Again, any other questions, any other comments, we are here. Sam Gordon, Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vegas Nation in the fan zone. I think you guys should be able to grow this channel. Honestly, there's Raiders YouTubes that are getting like 500 views per session on YouTube. You guys should come on their channels, vice versa. I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of Raiders channels and a lot of really good content and coverage out there. So really trying to, like you said, grow the brand and continue to do what we do here at Vegas Nation. And it's been a fun ride so far. We're going into year 2 in Vegas with the Raiders, with Allegiant Stadium. The hope is obviously that this fall that there can be a full stadium, a full NFL experience. I only think it was exciting having the team here. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think the city really got to feel what it's like to be an NFL market at this juncture in time, just based on no fans. And I know when we were out of the practice facility, sometimes we see fans hanging out outside, supporting with their gear, with their Raider gear on, with their Raider clothes, with Raider signs, because they just wanted to be so much a part of the action. And I'm really excited that this fall, the hope is 65,000 strong on there on Monday Night Football, 65,000 strong throughout the course of the year, and really see how this team takes shape and how it's going to captivate the city, because that is absolutely what it's going to do. So again, if you guys have any comments, questions, whatever we have, before I get out of here, this is Vegas Nation Fan Zone. There's all kinds of coverage that we have, vegasnation.com, videos, articles, feature stories, news, notes, whatever you want via the Raiders or for the Raiders is on vegasnation.com. And of course, our weekly fan zones in which we get to tap in with you guys, the fans. So again, before I get out of here, we just want to make sure there's no more questions, comments, and concerns about the Raiders. If there are, you know what to do. Right in the top chat, like my man Raiders for Life, or like my homie Raiders for Life. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman, but Raiders for Life. Thank you for rocking with us and for chatting with us. Again, I'm Sam Gordon. It looks like we don't have anything else coming right now, but excited for OTAs. That means football is right around the corner, and we are super excited for all that comes with it, especially with it being the second season here in Las Vegas. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is Vegas